You literally stole the first 5 minutes of my speech. So anyway, hi guys, yeah, I'm Jager. Can't hear me? I'm Jager and I own Delish Deliveries. I'm going to quickly run through who we are, where we get our produce from, why we do what we do, and how that all translates for you guys into better meal planning and hopefully success. So, first of all, the company is run by myself and my lovely wife Claire. Basically, we started 10 years ago just with fruit and veg boxes. We started I was at university and I had a fashion company, and my mate looks at me and goes, "You're not a fashionista, mate. Like, you love food. What are you doing?" So next day I went out to Sydney markets and I took a walk around and I instantly fell in love. There was 14 different types of plums, 12 different types of rock melons. It was fantastic, and I was eating everything and nearly getting punched every time I did. I was just like, so then I went home and I said, how am I going to transition into what I love? So I started a small fruit and veg box company called Delish Deliveries, and that's what we did. Within 3 months, we had a few hundred customers and it was thriving. I started to think about my why a little bit more. Why was I doing this so much? Because I was out at the markets every morning and I was chatting to farmers and I was chatting to growers, and they were saying to me, it used to be better. It used to be better for them. And then that got me thinking, what do they mean, it used to be better? And they said, well, it used to be an even playing field. The supermarkets actually used to purchase their produce from city markets as well. So every farmer had an opportunity to get produce on your plate. Now, 15 years ago or so, the supermarkets pulled out of the markets, changing the whole industry, because 80% of you, unfortunately, purchase your product from the supermarkets, meaning most farmers don't have an opportunity to supply 80% of Australia. So then farms start closing down. All the passionate farmers start closing down. And this really built my why. It wasn't just fruit and veg, it was meat, it was seafood, it was dairy. So what happens is you've got the people who are servicing the supermarkets, and you've got the farmers who aren't. The farmers who aren't servicing the supermarkets, they're struggling, and then the farmers who are, they're locked into price agreements. So we hear about this $1 milk, and you talk about $1 milk. Well, if it costs you $1 and you have to you're selling it for $1, they're only getting 90 cents. What is a farmer to do? The only thing to do is either close your business, or the other thing to do is cut a corner. So you're farming to make money. So what they have to do is, so has anyone ever cooked chicken and water oozes out of it, or beef mince and water oozes out of it? This is a problem because farmers are forced to supply product below cost. So this really developed my why. So I said, let's get into fruit. Let's not just do fruit and veg. Let's do meat. Let's do seafood. Let's do dairy, and let's trade with the farmers that are sort of left behind. So that's basically, you're wondering, how does this get into meal planning? Well, I was a very busy boy getting this all set up, and I started to pack on the way. And then my wife started calling me Mr. Potato, which is pretty fitting for the fruit and veg guy. So after that, all of her family were down at Tribe, so I trundled on down to Tribe, and I had a great trainer. I got my fitness going, but then I had this funny thing called meal planning, and I didn't really do much of that before. I used to smash 14 croissants at the markets before I got going for the day. So I started thinking about meal planning and how cumbersome it was. So I was using a thing called MyFitnessPal, and the problems with that straight away was it was user-generated content, so sometimes it was misinformation, it wasn't the right information about calories. And then if you got that right, then you had to go home and you had to go, oh, I need 220 grams of chicken breast, but this is 250, and you have to start thinking about all things like that. So we thought we can do this better, because the way we trade is we send our orders direct to the farmers every morning, and we supply exactly in portion size what we need. So then that bridges the barrier for people who are trying to do meal planning. So you're thinking, okay, so how successful has this been? We started building a tool once we realised there was a real need for this. We started building a tool. In our first challenge, we built an Excel spreadsheet that spat out little meal plans for people, and then we progressively built on this tool. So now you can just jump online, you put in your body fat percentage, your height, your weight, and what you want to eat, pescatarian, vegetarian, seafood lover, meat lover, whatever you want to eat, and it spits you out a calorie-based meal plan, exactly what you need, and you can get your groceries exactly what you need for that meal plan delivered to your house. So when we looked back at, and today I knew I was going to have a chat. I guess I was talking in front of the mirror for about an hour trying to get this right. But I wanted to look at the data and say, how can I prove how successful this has been? So I'll go back to the 2017 challenge, and there was 300 contestants, challenges, much like this challenge. And of those 300, 50 of you decided to use Delish Deliveries for your groceries, but all 300 had the same meal plan. Of those, there was also, for the 300, there was then 22 finalists, and of those 22, 17 of those were people who were ordering from Delish. So we had 16% order with us, but 70% of the finalists were people who were ordering with Delish. So that meant people were 4 times more likely to reach their results if they were using the product that matched the meal plan. So I thought, rather than me tell you why, can I just get everyone to stand up for me? Is that okay? And can those who did the last challenge please stay standing, and those who didn't, please sit down? Can those who used us for 1 week in the last challenge please stay standing, and the rest sit down?
Just one? At all, you mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Those who used us at all, please stand up. Sorry. Okay, and those who used us for the entire 4 weeks of the challenge, can you please stay standing? 6 weeks?
Yeah.
6 weeks, sorry, getting mixed up. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is I'm going to ask some of the people here today why they think people were 4 times more likely to achieve their results by getting their groceries delivered with their meal plan. Can I kick you off, Pete?
Yep, portion size is great, and also I didn't have to go into the supermarket and pass the lolly aisle.
You can sit down. Okay. You got it, Grace?
Oh, it's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
I've been using you guys forever, and I don't remember the last time I went into Willie's.
Yeah.
Just listen to the amount of work that he's put into this. You guys have done it all for us. And
Thanks.
it's too easy. Good food. Yeah, it's all good.
Thanks, Grace. And now we've got two challenge winners up the back, I believe. Very good company.
Oh, you're next to each other.
Can you please tell me why you think that people are more likely to succeed when they get their food delivered with their meal?
Well, there's nothing better than coming home on a weekend or a Saturday after you've been to the gym and having your food there ready to meal prep.
Yeah.
It's there, it's easy, it's all in the portions that you need, and it's just, I mean, it couldn't be easier. And it's just as cheap, if not better, than the buying it at shops.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
No worries.
And Renee, what do you think? Have you still used the meal plan day to day?
So I still get the same what I was getting during the challenge delivered. I just alter the dinners a bit here and there to suit. But basically for me, it's just having it delivered on the Saturday morning meant I could meal prep on the Sunday. The chicken was already cut in the portion size, throw it on the barbecue. The sweet potato is all in the portion that you need it. But then if some weeks I didn't feel like eating something that was, listed here, you can jump onto the tool, what Jacob mentioned, it's amazing. You don't have to have the same thing day to day, week to week, because you can actually play around with the tool to add in different things and see how it affects your daily macros, so your fat, your carbs. And it was literally like, I don't think I would have been able to do it without Delish, so.
Thank you so much. I always say because everyone's using it. So I've just given my 10-minute flash. Look, thank you so much for letting me talk to you today and sort of explain to you how you can use that tool. The meal plans that we've done for this challenge, they're all catered for every calorie bracket. They're printed out on your seat. And also I've got 3 sweeteners. If losing weight at spending no extra money isn't good enough, then we've got $10 vouchers. We're going to come around to every group and give everyone $10 vouchers, new clients and existing clients. And also, we've got a 100% Delish guarantee. So if you didn't like anything, you can actually eat for free on us and say, I didn't like that, tell me, and we'll refund you. And third, but I haven't even told Mark about this yet. Thirdly, if you order from Delish weekly throughout the challenge and you win the challenge, I'll give you 2 months free groceries.